What up, YouTube? I'm back again. We're talking about, this is the New School series. You can also go to newschool.com and you can go to wombmanworld1.com for free education. Well, one of them is actually not free and the other one is free. The wombmanworld1.com is free education. It's a global outreach service that has been provided by Derek Wade. And what it does, it gives you your way to connect with your sisters who will be your assisters on a global scale. The other one actually is a site where you can donate if you want, and you can actually receive whole books for $5. But these particular books is downloadable books, and you can go on there and you can see the fears that was actually written down, things that people forgotten about. Like, say, when you have a situation and you're running from that situation for your safety, a lot of times you don't get to know what exactly happened. You know, like if you see a fight and people say run, run, you just run. Well, actually I had to stay there and analyze and figure out what was going on and why we deterred, and you know, why we left this and why we did that. And a lot of this stuff that is on newschool.com is about how the preachers, you know, we gave them the authority, you know, as men, but the women had already gave authority because they figured that they was going to protect them. And then they got into negotiation and they misconstrued their assignment, you know, so a lot of people left the church, like Aretha Franklin and all of them, and Al Green. They left the church to basically get back the people that was leaving the church due to the things that the ones that was in control of the church, was called the preachers, and their posse, which is called deacons and deaconess and ushers and all the other members of the church. They was actually not disciplined enough to deal with the problems that we was having. So we enlarged the camp and people went out and started doing music and singing and stuff like that. All this is documented. But now we're coming back, and everyone must realize that the word salvation is from the word soul or sola, which is universe, is really within us. And deliverance is when we get to move and have the mobility. And this is where you get with the laws. You know, you have to know these laws. You have to take your time to figure out what's going on. When people get bored, they start complaining about other things and throwing mud on other people and what should be done and this and that. But if you actually stay busy and you building, you know, as you build, you will destroy other things that surround you. And if everybody keep building, that means everybody is actually destroying the things that's not beneficial for us. And then we'll come to a purification. And this purification is real. We're going to get into that. We're going to go into this series, and we're going to go into 5, because 5 is power. Then I'm going to give an explanation of the first 5 rules, right? And then after that, we're going to continue the series, but we're not going to do it all in one, because it's, you know, it's a lot of rules to the game. It's just a lot of rules, you know, and there's other things that we need to do. We need to be multitask. So we're going to have to stop for a moment and do some other things, but we're going to make it happen. And don't get upset, because figure it like this, okay? When Moses, let's say Abraham, yeah, no, Moses, let's go to Moses. When Moses, right, started giving the laws, his sister and his brother got kind of upset why he wasn't the one chosen. Let me tell you this. Everybody is chosen. Everybody got a responsibility to do what they need to do. But when they picked a tribe, they had 12 tribes. And from these 12 tribes, it was one tribe that was giving out the information, called ministers, and actually it was called high priest. They never explained to you and never said anything about the high priestess as a woman. They never mentioned about the women. And I guess this is my guess, is that the women didn't want to, they didn't want to be recognized at the time. It wasn't necessary. Everything was flowing. But the things that they were saying to the men, that if you do this, this would happen. I mean, they mentioned the women, but they never really expounded on it, because basically they was the ones in the plot, as to say. So, but 1/12 of the tribe was the readers. It was the high priest with the laws, and they're the ones that was the healers. So everybody is not going to be lawyers, but we all need to know how to move this body, how to think, how to get around. And this is how people complain about the Jews, but if you look at them, and anywhere you go, if you see them, you see they stick together. We're not talking about other groups that stick together anyway. Just that we've been scattered all over. Now we have to take root down and build and accept what we need to do and to make it happen. We're going to get to Rule 5. And Rule 5 is serving and filing pleadings and other papers. So when you have these papers, you have to know the rules on how to serve these papers. If you have a civil action against somebody, you need to know the laws. And the laws is written in the Federal Civil Judicial Procedures and Rules. And we're speaking about Rule 5, which is serving and filing pleadings and other papers. And it states that service, when required, except as otherwise provided in these rules, every order required by its term to be served, every pleading subsequent to the original complaint, unless the court otherwise orders because of numerous defendants. Every paper relating to discovery required to be served upon a party, unless the court otherwise orders. Every written motion, other than the one that may be heard ex parte, and every written notice, appearance, demand, offer of judgment, destination of record on appeal, or similar paper shall be served upon each of the parties. No service needed to be made on parties in default for failure to appear, except the pleadings asserting new or additional claims for relief against them shall be served upon them in the manner provided for services of summons, and that's in Rule 4. So basically what it's saying, that every paper that is basically presented to the court needs to be presented to the plaintiff and the defendant. Everybody needs to know what's going on. So it goes on, it says, in an action begun by seizure of property in which no person need be or is named as defendant, any service required to be made prior to the filing of an answer or claim or appearance shall be made until the persons having custody or possession of that property at the time of the seizure. So what it's saying, in an action begun by a seizure of property in which no person need be or is named as a defendant, any service required to be made prior to the filing of an answer, claim, or appearance shall be made upon the person who has possession or custody of the property at time of the seizure. So that's self-explanatory. So when you read these things, You must go and read it and go over it and read it. Take your time. I'm out.